DWTT coming to you. Damn right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my 5. I'm going to do one, not really real quick, but it's going to do one right now. Get it out there because I think I'm going to try and do this for every game so you guys can catch and kind of hear what I have to say about my 5. But going into this game, I had already identified the 5 that I thought would make a difference in the game, and they did. So first off, I'm going to go with, I was going to tell you the 5 and tell you why. So the 5 that I had, starting from the front, Eddie Nketiah, I just want to see how he continues. I mean, for me, he will be the elixir as to how you can hear my dog barking. You can see how the game's going to go based, for him. I always tally up how he's doing by basically did he get a goal or not. So if he gets a goal, then I think, then I believe he's had a good game. As soon as I'm thinking about the other things that he has to do, if those become apparent in the games, then I'll bring them up. And of course, there was one opportunity for him to do that, and he did it. Next up, I've got, who else do I have in there? Partey. Was he going to play in his traditional position or still play at in a number back as a fullback? I was going to see how that's going to work out. Next up is Rice. Just continue to see him improve. I think every time he's on the pitch, he's going to get better and better and better. So I think that's key for us. We spent a lot of money on him, but I think also he brings a lot in football and leadership to the squad. And every time he's on the pitch, I think he's just going to get better and better and better for us. And I think it's going to mean a lot when we come down to the end of the season. Next up, I had Havertz. Of course, he's going to be that question mark for me since day one, and we'll see how he does. That's kind of my thing. It's just, can he improve more, and will I notice him as much? And that's typically how I gauge how players have been doing, is whether or not I've seen them, or I feel like I saw a lot of them during the game. I'm probably looking in the wrong place, but I just feel like a lot of times these players have influence on the game, and you notice it. And last but not least, Tomiyasu. Now that Timber is out, which is sad news for the rest of the season, or for most of the season, Tomiyasu comes in. We'll see how he does, which means Zinchenko most likely is not ready to go. So how will Tomiyasu do in that position? Seems like that's the only position we've lost, so we'll see. And then it sounds like that position will also need to be refilled again as well as we get into that. But here we go. So my 5, like I said, I'll go through kind of the similar list that I just went through as to what I saw out of the game. Eddie Nketiah, for me, it's a hot and cold. It's very hot because we won, but it's cold because he had a couple opportunities. He had 2 opportunities to score, and he did not get the goals. And everybody will tell you that he's, as far as we're concerned, the more clinical of the two, him and Jesus. So if that's the case, then when he gets those opportunities, he needs to finish them, and he did not do that. He had two tries at it. One, he went for the far post and clipped it just on the outside and missed it. The next one, he tried to chip the goalkeeper, and I think that one, I don't know. I kind of felt like that was one of those where if he could have got it onto his left foot, he could have got it past the goalkeeper, because the goalkeeper was coming out to his right foot anyways. But we'll see, so let's see. But for me, that's where he needs to be better. And nobody can say, well, he got the opportunities, he was in the right position. But guess what? Those are the opportunities he has to make. So I'm expecting him to make those, to score those goals, because that's what he's there for, and that's one of the things he brings to the table. So he didn't do that. So for me, that's where the cold is. The hot is that he was in the box. I still feel like I see him jogging too much for my liking. I might be asking too much, but I still feel like he's jogging around a lot, when in fact I believe he should be sprinting to get into that attacking position. He was in there a lot of times, so maybe, so I can't say he wasn't, but I feel like I need to see it more, because I feel like when he's not, he's not doing as much as like a Jesus would be doing. So for me, he needs to always be up there. So the one thing he should be doing for me is attacking that back line, and then he'll be fine. Well, he did not the one time, but he did. in that second half, and I was able to get to the ball before the goalkeeper. And unlike the last time we had an attacker get into the box and try to get, and what we thought, I believe we got to the ball first, or the goalkeeper took us out. But this time, Nketiah was able to get to the ball, try to go off to the right a little bit. The goalkeeper got him, brought him down. Penalty kick. Erdegaard steps up. Turns out that him and Saka were talking, and Erdegaard said, "Can I take a shot?" And he said, "All right." Seems weird, but all right, whatever. Erdegaard took it. Looked really good, and I feel Erdegaard is probably, I believe, based on what I've seen from him, is really clinical with his shooting, in terms of getting it on target, and he looked really smooth doing that. But that was all due to Nketiah, and basically it's built, for me, it's 3 players that were part of that. I believe it's, depending on who you look at, something going to say Rice got the shot, the pass off fast, and Nketiah, but also I don't think I hear this much, but Partey also had a lot to do with that, and we'll get into why in a second here. But so that was Nketiah. He drew the PK. So he didn't get the goal, but he did make sure we got an opportunity to score, and that's what I also want from him. So he did that. We got the goal. We got the win. Perfect. Nketiah had a good day. I just want to see him scoring a lot more and feel like he's more of a threat with the ball at his feet. That's what I kind of feel like I want to see from him. Partey, once again, playing at that fullback position. I still don't like it. I think it adds more miles to his legs. I don't feel like that's going to work for us long term. It might be something we're going to use just for our big game. So I assume basically after the Manchester United game, we'll probably see it not as much. So we'll go back to maybe our traditional 4, with 2 fullbacks, true fullbacks. But Partey, I think once again we control this game. That's due to our midfield, and I think he's part of one of the big reasons for that. He was, for me, one of the other reasons why we got the PK. There's at one point you can see him pointing to the spot, saying, "Hey, look, there's going to be an opening here," and he was the guy that actually put the block on, which some will say is illegal, and kept the defender from getting to Nketiah, who was able to get to the ball first, and draw the PK. So another good game from Partey. Kind of feel like we're overusing him. Probably need to pull him out earlier, or play him in his traditional position. But I still feel, I don't know if he's going to give us 90 minutes. So for me, the fact that Jorginho came in and helped close out, would like him to come in for Partey and close out games, but being down 10 men, I kind of understand. Next up, we've got Rice. Once again, Rice looks comfortable out there. He's just going to get better and better with time. He's doing a lot of work in there. So for me, I will say this, and I say this all the time. If I don't talk about players, it's usually because I don't notice them as much. And I think a lot of times when our midfield is playing well, I don't notice it. Sometimes it just seems like the ball just seems to flow through that midfield, and we're in control of it, in which we were. And I think that's part to him, Partey, and Erdegaard. So there you go. Another good game from him. Havertz, for me, didn't notice him, similar to Rice, but he didn't, bang. There was no bang for me. I know a lot of off the ball work was discussed by a lot. I didn't see the replay in full, so I didn't notice him when I watched the second time. But I didn't really have the opportunity to view it, as I usually do. But the fact that we're winning, and I don't feel like he's not creating any negative situations for me. So that's another positive there. So if you're out there, you may be not contributing on the goals and assist side, but the team is flowing. I'll take it. I just assume that we'll catch up and we will see him more in the attack or making some defensive plays if that's what he's going to do. But I feel like we're going to see him more on the offensive side making work as he gets more familiar with what Arteta wants him to do. He might be doing a lot of all the off-the-ball work now because he's getting acclimated to the way that Arteta wants. But I think in the future we'll see a lot more from him, and I hope we should, because we have that in us. And then last but not least, Tomiyasu, another left back, which is our second left back, and guess what? He won't be playing in the next game. Luckily, it's not due to injury, but it is due to what many will say is kind of 2 really poor yellow cards that he got. One for wasting time when he had the ball for less than the player before him, who probably should have got it, but we won't say we'll get too much into that. But 2 yellows, really poor. the league didn't even decide to look into it. I think they should, because I think when it's outrageous like that, like you can tell early in the I think it was early in the game, further up the pitch, Saka gets taken down, no yellow card given. Tomiyasu, I barely touches, he gets a yellow. I think it's a little poor execution of that rule, but he's out for the next game, so we're going to have to see another left back. It looks like Zinchenko will be in, because Zinchenko came in, finished off the game, so we're doing good there. So I think all in all, very good game for us. And those are my 5. They all played. They all played well. No negatives to say too much on them. I just want to see more goals from. I want to see goals from Nketiah, of course. Havertz, I want GA from him would be really nice. I think Partey and Rice are just doing what they always do. I think Partey's being asked to do more than he should. For me, that's long-term pain for us, because I kind of want to see him being able to play at his full strength in April and May, and March, April, and May, kind of that time period. I want to see him being able to play, because he hasn't had to play crazy minutes and extending himself in the games either. So that's going to be there. Tomiyasu will just do what he's done. He'll come in and support. And who else did I miss? Anybody? I think I talked about everybody. So yeah, so that's it. So Havertz, of course, I think he'll just continue to improve. But we'll see how the other players that we also have on our bench, Milsworth, Rose, Nelson, Trossard. Trossard needs to play. That's all. But anyways, that's my 5. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to say, life's a journey. Don't waste a trip, enjoy the ride. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.